Alright, now I don't know if this video idea is intelligent or smart to make and share. I don't know my reason behind filming this other than telling what happened and sharing my story and letting it all out in a way, getting it off my chest. Maybe this can help somebody who's been through something traumatic, like, for example, a car accident, like in my case, like I'm going to share it now. If you are going to feel trauma induced because of this, please don't watch. I'm going to give details. I'm going to tell what happened. And this is a way for me to document, as I do with everything, my life. So, it's still fresh. It's right now 8:27, almost 8:30. It's almost been 24 hours, about 24 hours since the accident happened. It's December 4th. It happened yesterday, last night on the 3rd of December, 2025. And it's still very fresh and very alive in my mind. So what happened was I was leaving my boyfriend's house at around, I think, 8:39 p.m. or around there. And it was cold. It was pitch black. There was a little bit of snow from the previous day, but it was almost all melted away. And then there's the stop sign at an intersection by the church that we go to, that I'm now going to. I'm going back to church. And if I'm really serious in this video, it's because this is something very serious. And that's just not my personality. I'm a jovial, lighthearted, bubbly type of person. I don't do serious very well. So this video is very different for me to make and share. But I think I need to share it and say these things. So there's a stop sign, and there's also ice. And when I slow down, I'm sliding. And then the next thing I know, I'm in the intersection, and off to the right of me, there are these blinding lights of another incoming car. So they strike me on that right passenger side, the end of my vehicle, the butt of my vehicle. And when I looked at the car afterwards, this was like the next day when it was light outside, it was ruined. It was very much ruined. And my boyfriend thinks it's totaled. And that's fine because people are more important than things. It sucks, and I'll explain why it sucks. There's more to the story. But they got that tire off its axle somehow, or something was amiss with the axle and the tire in the back on the right side. So that whole side just got messed up, beat up. And the airbags went off on that side. And what happens when I was struck in the middle of the intersection, the end of me, here's the thing. If I was going any faster or any slower, it could have been worse. That car could have hit me more center on. It could have struck the car differently and pushed me somewhere else. I was in my seat. I had my seatbelt on, as I always do. And I was fine, and I'll get to that as well. But it was just crazy how it happened. I just could not slow down. I could not stop in time. And I slid, and then when I was struck, I was spinning. I don't know how many rotations I turned or twirled or spun, but I was turning, and then I was stopped, and I think I took my hands off the wheel. I don't remember that part, but I do remember hitting my head. And they checked me for a concussion. They did all these tests and things at the hospital and in the ambulance, which I have to pay for now somehow. That's the thing. The first thought I had while I was spinning was, this is going to be expensive. And how American is that? Because the medical stuff is so astronomically messed up and expensive. And that was literally my first thought. I was like, my dad is going to kill me, and this is really expensive. Because I don't have the money for this. I'll find it somehow. Nate volunteered. My fiancé volunteered. And that's just what's going to happen because my paycheck doesn't cut it. It won't work. So then the first thing I do when the car stopped is pull out my phone to call Nate, who lives just down the street. I was headed home on Main Street to go basically eat dinner and go to bed. And that didn't happen. Instead, I was out till like 11:30 and I was in bed around 12 midnight. But Nate came. He met me right away. He came so fast. And if it wasn't Nate, I just would have felt so alone. He's just such a good person and good soul, and for him to be there when something so traumatizing and scary. Anyway, So then they take me in the ambulance. I wasn't forced, but I didn't feel like I needed to go. I felt fine, but they wanted to do it anyways, like the protocol. And the guy who helped me in the ambulance was very nice, very friendly, very inquisitive, and he distracted me, which helps. I'm going to work tomorrow, which will distract me and which helps. I missed work today. I called in sick, and then I explained to my boss, my principal, and the secretary, those three, I let them know what really happened last night, that I got in a car accident and I was basically shook up. And so I had a sick day. I'm not telling any other staff members. I told Connie tonight. I told Keely tonight. I told Emily tonight, my three best friends. Other than that, my family knows, some extended knows, but I'm okay. And I was able to walk away. The car is probably screwed up forever and probably done for at this point, but that is okay. And my boyfriend, well, fiancé, I need to call him that. I keep forgetting. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to volunteer buying me a car. And he's looked at trucks and cars and vehicles for a long time now. And he'll show me. He's like, this one would be great for you. Because he wants me to upgrade. And I've had this Corolla, this silver Toyota Corolla forever. That's my only car. It's been my only car since I bought it off my parents. Anyway. So, I just remember spinning and being so scared, like petrified. And I was crying on and off, and I was like, I never got in an accident before. I remember saying that. I distinctly remember saying that, and the reactions were like, hey, it's okay, accidents happen. Maybe I'm making this video too soon, but this is also very raw of what happened. It's very fresh in my mind, and I didn't want other staff members to know. I asked these people to keep it quiet because I don't want to be bombarded with questions. I don't want to be inquisitive at. That's not a phrase. I don't want people to be inquisitive of me, of what happened. I don't want to relive it. I'm already reliving it in my head. I don't want to say the words out loud to 20 different people. I especially don't want my student to know. It's just crazy. They discharged me from the hospital at about 11:15. We were home back at Nate's by like 11:30, and then we came back here because my meds were here. I need to take sleep medication or I don't sleep. And they really put me out. Like, they could put out 10 elephants. And so then we zigzagged back to my place, and we just stayed here, and he slept. Well, he stayed the night. He didn't sleep the night, but he could not sleep. He was too worried, and he's had trauma in the past, and death is very real for him, and this was very scary, and I feel like it's brought us closer somehow. And I told him that. I was like, Nate, this sounds really weird. It kind of sounds pretty messed up, but I think we're closer now because this happened. And in the hospital, just waiting for new nurses to come in and show up, he was crying, and I've never seen him cry before. I've known him for 8 months and a few days at this point, and I've never seen a guy cry before. And he just didn't want to lose me. And when he proposed, and last night, those are the 2 times that I've never felt his love so much. He loves me, and he's very affectionate. He gives so much of himself and his time and his love. He's a very giving person and giving fiance, giving partner. But I just didn't realize, like, the depth of his love, and he's been so much more just emotional towards me because of this, and I think that's going to bring us closer. So yes, I told you what happened. This is the end, and then I'll stop talking and just watch Netflix and be distracted. Not to Nate. Let me see. Yeah, I'll get back to him. He's just doing more car stuff, more car hunting, car shopping. So the sheriff who worked with me last night was very strict and uptight. And I felt like he didn't care about my well-being. He was more like, oh, I could give you a speeding ticket as well, but you are to pay this $90 fee for failure to yield. And I was like, sir, I'm not trying to argue with you. I was on the table. Like, I was having an IV in one arm and the pressure here, whatever the thing's called, on the other arm. And I was like, I'm not trying to argue with you, but I couldn't stop. I legitimately couldn't stop at that. I couldn't stop at the stop sign. I was on ice for like yards. And he just didn't seem to care. So, but we paid that. We didn't fight it. I told Nick, let's not fight it. Let's pay it because he'll probably fight back. Whoever will probably make it worse. I don't know. It could spiral. Insurance is a joke. I have Progressive, and we were on the phone with them, and they were saying basically it doesn't cover collisions. They're not covering it. And so my car that's worth either anywhere between $6,000 to $10,000, my silver 2014 Toyota Corolla, it's worth $0 right now. They said going forward and in the future, they are able to change that status where it does cover collisions. My dad was furious on the phone. He called them after me, and he was like, doesn't make sense. We're paying for this service, and you're not providing it. And we've been doing this for like months, if not years. So it is just messed up in a number of ways. But anyway, then I come home to a big-ass box, and it's from my friend Keely. The timing was God-given or something because I needed a pick-me-up. It has been a whirlwind the last 24 hours, and it's just been a lot to process. And it's been very emotionally draining and fatiguing. It's been not physical pain, but emotional pain. Just very trauma-inducing and traumatic. I have a sister, Ashley. She was in a car wreck, and she almost died. She didn't get any broken bones. She didn't get too beat up, but she could have died. She rolled 7 times, hit a milepost. If she did not slump down in her chair, she would have been beheaded. Crazy. She was a college student at the time. And I feel closer to Ashley now at this point because we have an understanding of what it's like to be in a car accident, to be in a wreck. And to feel like a wreck ourselves in the process. Like, it's scary. It's scary no matter how it happens. So Keely is a really good friend of mine. She lives in Tremonton. I met her at work in Idaho Falls a couple years ago. And we just hit it off straight away. She's one of my best friends. And she sends me this stuff. It's like self-care. It's like a self-care package. And it's just adorable. And she's so sweet. She did not have to do that. So that was just beautiful to come home to. When I was at the scene, so many people came up to talk to me. They're asking me questions and trying to help. And there was a church function going on. We had our church Christmas party on Tuesday night. And then last night there was a different group doing theirs. And lost my train of thought. Anyway, they just stopped me. Well, they didn't stop me. I was stopped. I couldn't move. I was frozen in the car with the door open. But just the care of people when something went wrong. And I told Nate, I was like, tragedy just brings people together. And it does. Like, and I told him, if there's a tsunami or an earthquake, like, people join together. They join forces and they're there for each other. And I thought about this, and I was like, if I'd only been doing something different, if I took a different way home, that's the only way I know. And he says, accidents happen. Accidents happen, and it's okay. They say I'm legally at fault. I'm liable. Because I technically ran the stop sign. I wasn't trying, but I missed stopping because of the ice, the black ice, and yeah, so it's just been a lot. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna watch something and go to bed. My belly is full. My heart is full. And life is still good. You can be going through hell and life is still good. Heaven's not that far away. And you'll get there. You can make a heaven on earth in your own way. Okay. Emily signing off. I really hope we were going. I think my camera turned off. We're good. Okay. I don't know the point or purpose of this video. I just needed to share this, and I hope it helps at least one person. if you're going through any form of accident or trauma or pain, and technically that's all of us because we're all going through shit at the same time in our own way, some way or another, it's okay. I'm going to be walking to work for a while, but that is okay. Thankfully, I live close to my workplace, and thankfully, I got this. That's what Nate kept saying. He's like, you got this, Em, and we'll figure it out. That's his saying in life, we'll figure it out. So we'll be okay. All right.